Mercy Me is coming to Pittsburgh. The Together Again tour with Mercy Me, Crowder, and special guest Andrew Ripp. Thursday, October 5th. Bring your family and friends to the PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh for Mercy Me, Crowder, and Andrew Ripp live in concert. 3 multiple award-winning artists on one stage for one night. Let your spirit soar, your heart sing, and your faith ignite. Mark your calendars for Thursday, October 5th. Get your tickets now at mercyme.org.
You're going to run into things in business that you don't know how to do. That's just a reality of running a business. We always say you're the CEO, you're the chief everything officer. You do everything.
I get so afraid about messing something up in business, like with taxes.
Okay.
Because if you mess that up,
right,
go to jail.
That's valid. That's valid. Hey everyone, and welcome to the Christy Wright Show. I'm so excited because today we are talking about confidence. This is one of those things that no matter how much we talk about it, we still have more to learn. And then I'm so excited because I get to sit down for another live coaching session with Sarah Lewis. And we're going to talk about what she needs help with in her business and how she can build her confidence. But first, let's just talk about why this idea of confidence is so hard to grasp. Well, let me give you an example. My kids love bubbles. Do your kids love bubbles? If you have kids, have you seen little kids? They love to reach for them and grasp. You know what? I just brought some. Let me just show you. Look, this is one of mine. I stole from my children's playroom. Let's go blow some bubbles. Here's what happens. You blow some bubbles. Oh, look at all those bubbles. And then you chase them and you try to catch them and you can't. Look at all those bubbles. I'm gonna try to catch it. Ready? No, I can't catch the bubble. Why? It just gets away from me. Or as soon as I touch it, the bubble pops. And I know this sounds crazy, but it feels like that when we are chasing this idea of confidence in life, it feels like chasing bubbles. They consistently run away from us. They pop. We can't ever hold on to them. The moment we feel like we've got this idea in our heads, we've got our fingernails in something like this is confidence and I've got it, it seems to run away from us yet again. Well, I was thinking about this idea of confidence recently, and I wrote down a sentence that I feel like really rings true for me and rings true for a lot of the people that I work with. Here's what I wrote down. Confidence looks like courage, sounds like leadership, and feels like peace. I want to say that again. Confidence looks like courage, sounds like leadership, and feels like peace. Well, I want to unpack that with you. I want to break that down one section at a time and give you some examples of what this looks like in your life and in my life. First, confidence looks like courage. So often from the outside, you'll look at someone that seems so confident, and you know what? It's not that they're 100% confident. It's not that they've got it all figured out. It's just that they have courage. They're willing to try. They're willing to fail. They're willing to put themselves out there and see if it's going to work. From the outside, it looks so confident, but inside of themselves, they might be really scared. They're just choosing to have courage. I'll give you an example. I've been hosting the Dave Ramsey Show with Dave Ramsey himself, the man, the legend, our CEO of Ramsey Solutions. I've been hosting with him pretty regularly lately. And whenever we're taking a call, of course, the caller is calling in, they have a question, and we'll tag team on the answer. And every now and then, y'all, I will have a different answer than Dave. Okay, his name is on the building. His name is on the show. I'm on his show. But I feel like in order to be authentic and true to myself and add value as a different voice and different person on the show, I have to be true and give that other opinion, give a different answer, give a different perspective. Do you know how scary it is when Dave Ramsey says, here is the answer, and you go, or you could do this. Every single time it happens, every single time I put my shoulders back and muster up the courage to give that different answer, to give an alternative solution, to show a different side of things, I'm terrified. But to the listener, to the caller, to the viewer, it probably looks like confidence. It probably looks like, wow, Christy's so confident. She just disagreed with Dave. Or Christy's so confident. She just added a different perspective than Dave on his own show. It's not that I'm so confident. It's that I just choose courage. I choose to try. I'm willing to put myself out there. I'm willing to speak up. I'm willing to try. That's courage. That's often what confidence looks like. It looks like courage. But let's go to the second section. Confidence looks like courage. It sounds like leadership. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a conversation with someone and I say, well, I'm just going to do, fill in the blank with whatever that thing is that I'm going to do. And they say, are you able to do that? Can you do that? And my response is always, we're going to find out. Right? It's not that I know it's going to work. It's not that I'm positive it's going to be a success. It's not that I'm just so confident in myself that I can nail every project I take on and I'm just totally going to rock every single appointment or commitment or speaking engagement that I take on. No, it's not that I'm 100% confident. I'm just a leader. You know what leaders feel? Leaders feel responsibility. Leaders feel a weight on their shoulders to do the right thing, to speak up and say the hard thing, to do their best for the people that they are leading. When I walk on a stage and I'm scared because it's more people than I've ever spoken to in my entire life, I look so confident, but you know what I'm really doing? I'm practicing courage and leadership. I'm doing it scared despite my fear, and I feel that weight of responsibility. If there are people in the audience that need help and hope right now, so I'm going to be a leader for them. I'm going to show up for them because they need this information. They need this encouragement. They need what God wants to say to them. And believe it or not, he's going to use me to do it. That's being a leader. You have a business. You're a leader. Your customers need you. Your team members need you. Are you a parent? Your kids, your family? Are you a friend? Your circle of influence. You're a leader. So you got to be confident. And all that means is that you sound like a leader. You feel the weight and responsibility on your shoulders to do the right thing, to do the hard thing, to show up, to practice courage, to do it scared, to create the results and the impact and influence that you are put on this earth to create. So confidence looks like courage, sounds a lot like leadership. But you know what it feels like? It feels like peace. It feels like this centeredness in your spirit. That you're okay and everyone else is okay and it's all going to be okay. I want to give you a pretty vulnerable example. This was several years ago, and my husband and I were talking about growing our family, and we were having a hard time. And I am so grateful for the 2 kids that we had at the time. But as we were planning and hoping and praying about expanding our family, it wasn't going as we planned, like I know is true for many people. I remember talking to my doctor one day, and she was actually my endocrinologist, so she's a thyroid specialist. She helps me with all of my thyroid levels since I had my thyroid taken out several years ago. And I kind of mentioned this is the first time we've tried to, get pregnant after having my thyroid out. Could that affect it because we're having a hard time? And her response, she didn't mean it to be callous or careless, but it felt like that to me in a position of vulnerability, of having this hope and desire and not sure what the future held for me and our family. She said, well, that's why I tell women not to wait so long. Just like that. That's why I tell women not to wait so long. And in that moment, that sentence from a doctor, from a medical professional, could have crushed me. It could have crushed me. It could have crushed my spirit, my confidence, my hope. But instead, I walked out of that room, and the very next thought that came to my mind was, she's not God. No, she's not. She's not God. She may have facts and figures and statistics and medical experience, which is all valid and good, but it's not God. Statistics are not God. No, she's not God. That's confidence. That is a peace that God is in control. That is a peace that God knows everything and can do anything. He is infinite. He is limitless. So see, what's so cool, y'all, is your confidence doesn't have to come from your situation, your circumstances. Your confidence doesn't even have to come from you. You're so awesome, you can do everything. I think it's cool if you think that. I think you should think that. But the true source of confidence is in the God that created you to begin with. And that feels like peace. It feels like it's going to be okay because God's got me. It's going to be okay because she's not God, and God can do whatever he wants to. If God wants to make it happen, I don't care if it's a 0% chance of success. Your business, your family, your project, whatever your dream is, if it's a 0% chance of success, if God wants to make it happen, he will and he can. And it can be a 100% chance of success, according to all the experts. And if that's not God's plan for you, it won't. Whew. That's peace. That's confidence. I'm okay. Everyone is okay, and God has got this. That's true confidence. Confidence that comes from something much bigger than you. Confidence that comes from the God that created you. So you want confidence? May not look like you think, may not sound like you think, may not feel like you think. It's not this smooth sailing, I've got it figured out, I am awesome, I don't ever have a care in the world. That's actually not it. Confidence looks like courage. It sounds like leadership. And it feels like peace. All right, y'all, I'm so excited because I get to sit down with my good friend and Academy member, Sarah Lewis, who is the owner of Letters from Sarah. Sarah, thanks for being here.
Thanks so much for having me.
Okay, so this is so fun. You live kind of down the road in Dixon, so it's a little bit of a drive, but not, out of town. And you and I have worked together for years. You've been an Academy member. This has been so fun to see your business grow. You sent me the sweetest gift the other day, which was so kind. But I would love it for people that are watching that don't know about your business or what you do, if you just open by telling us a little bit about your story and your business.
Yeah, so I am the owner and calligrapher for Letters from Sarah. It's a calligraphy studio, and it's just me. But I started a little over 3 years ago, started practicing calligraphy, and then my husband actually gave me a push, believed in me, and bought me an Academy membership.
Yes.
And that's sort of how I started the business.
I love it because it's been really cool to see how your business, too, has kind of evolved and expanded. Like, it started with the calligraphy, but you've done some other cool stuff, too, like as a part of it.
Yeah. I have an online shop with greeting cards and art prints that I design, and I recently launched a monthly subscription with greeting cards that I send out.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, so I want to dive into whatever you want to talk about today. I have loved getting to work with you and getting to see you grow as an Academy member, and you're really used to joining us for our live coaching sessions, which we have one this afternoon, by the way. And so we normally do this group setting, but I'm so excited you're here because I feel like I can dive in deeper on questions and what you're going through when it's this one-on-one. And so I want to do that today. I want to focus on whatever you want to focus on. I want to talk about whatever you want to talk about. So for our time, what would you say is like the number one pain point or the number one thing, like, this is my question. This is what I struggle with. Like, how do you want to spend our time and where do you want to focus today?
So probably the biggest thing is just that I am very confident in my skill as a calligrapher and my craft. But when it comes to the business side of things, I am not very confident at all. I feel like I'm shooting in the dark and just like throwing spaghetti at walls and hoping something sticks. And I'm thankful for all of the training inside of the Academy, but I feel like once I do something, then there's something else that I have to learn. And then I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing. Sure. And it makes me feel stupid. And I hate feeling stupid.
Sure. No one likes that.
No.
I'm totally with you. Okay, give me some examples of some things that you have run into, maybe even just recently, where you're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know how to handle that. And it created that feeling that you're talking about where you feel stupid because you don't know what to do. Give me some examples to work through here.
Okay. Well, we have a lot of examples from the last few months.
For sure.
Everyone
for this year. Yeah.
But I have put off building a website for years just because it felt too big, too scary. I had no idea what I was doing. And so finally, when everything started closing down, I guess I kind of got like a boost. I know we had a really great training inside the Academy of just like, what are we going to do? How are we going to make it through? And I knew like at this point, no one knows what they're doing, so I might as well give it a shot. Yeah. And so I dove in and built my website. Wow. In like 2 weeks.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
But that's like all I did for those 2 weeks. But then afterwards, I was kind of like, okay, that's over. Yeah. But then more things came up about like finding printers or with the website. And then I have a lot of custom clients. So trying to figure out like a customer management system and having processes and systems. And it's just like one thing after another. Yeah.
Let me ask you this. So you're a creative, right? Because you're a calligrapher. So like the business side is probably not very life-giving anyway.
Oh, no.
Like even on a good day, you're not like, oh, I love systems, right?
No,
is that true?
I sit down to do my monthly taxes and I'm just like, okay, can I have a nap now? Yeah. And it only takes like 10 minutes. Yeah. It's not a huge thing, but in my mind, it's such a huge thing.
Okay, so let me ask you this. Let's peel away the layers here because I love to like try to get to the root of what's going on. When you think about, let's use systems and processes as an example, because that's a great example and I'm with you. Like I don't like any of that stuff. When you think about that and you look at it as objectively as you can, is the problem that you're not confident in it? Like, I don't know what I'm doing and I feel stupid, because that is a very like, logical and possible outcome of that. Or is it, I don't like this. I don't want to do it. I don't want to learn it. I don't even want to be confident. I'll tell you, I don't want to be confident in system. Like, I want to be confident. So like, which would you say is more what's truly going on? I feel dumb. I don't feel competent or confident here, or I just don't like it. It's not my strengths. It's draining for me. Which one would you say?
I honestly think it's both, because I don't like it. I'm not confident in it. I don't like doing it. but I'm the only one in my business, so I have to do it.
Okay. So you feel a pressure to do it, even though you're not good at it and don't feel confident. Okay. Well, let's look at what must be true for you to have these things in place, because you're going to run into things in business that you don't know how to do. That's just a reality of running a business. We always say you're the CEO, you're the chief everything officer, you do everything. But what's great is there are ways for you to gain competence, which, the ability to do something, and confidence, the way that you feel about what you do. There's ways for you to grow in those areas, and at the same time, maybe not carry all the pressure. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I have to do everything myself, and we've talked about this in academy trainings, where you get help, automate, outsource, that type of thing, get people around you to support you in this area that you're weak. So let's kind of explore both of those possibilities. First, what types of things make you feel confident in something? Like, what are the things, like, when I do this, I feel confident. And it could be in any area of your life. It doesn't have to be just the business, but what are the ways that you typically feel confident?
I feel confident like when I am making something. So I'm very artistic. Calligraphy is an art just with words. Yeah. And so when I make something, I can sit down and make it, and then I can stand back and look at it and go, man, like, that was great. I really love that. And I get a lot of energy from doing that and just making things. Yeah. And I love like the little details about things in the art, and even like packaging up orders, or if I'm doing something that I've done 100 times, because I've got where I can look back and go, oh, okay, I know how to do this. Yeah. Like, this is great. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. Okay. So when you think about that, do you have kids?
Yeah, I have one.
Okay. So in parenting, okay, how old is your child?
4.
Okay. In parenting, things come up that you don't know how to do.
Yes.
Right? Like, nothing can derail your plans like kids. So when something comes up in parenting and you're out and you don't have a diaper, or you don't have a boogie wipe, you don't have an outfit, whatever, you know what I mean? Your 4-year-old, you don't have something they need for preschool, whatever, fill in the blank with whatever you're dealing with. What do you do? What do you do when you don't know what to do? What do you do when you don't have something you need? What do you do?
Just figure it out.
Yeah, you do, right? I mean, no, seriously, you do. It seems so funny, but it's like, I feel like as moms, and it's not just moms, but I use this example because it's like an everyday thing for moms. It's so intuitive for us. You know what I mean? I used this example months ago, but I was out for a hike, and it was cold. This was so like, back in the winter, it was cold, and I was out for a hike, and I didn't have a hat for my little girl, and she's an infant, she needs a hat. So I just took this like burp cloth and just like wrapped it around her head it's like you just make it work and figure it out. And so what would it look like for you to apply that skill of figuring it out to these things that you don't know how to do and aren't necessarily fun for you? What would it look like to try to apply those skills there?
I really don't know, because I get so afraid about messing something up in business, like with taxes. Okay. Because if you mess that up, it's not just kind of like, oh, your baby looks kind of silly.
Right.
You go to jail.
That's valid. That's valid.
So with things like that, I'm just like, oh, something really bad could happen, and I don't really know the outcome or how it could turn out.
Okay. So taxes aside, let's talk about some of the other things where there's not like a legal implication. Because when we go back to what would it look like for you to get help around you, that might be one of those subjects you're like, this is an area of my business that I'm going to get help, because I'm not an expert in this, that's true. That's not just like a lack of confidence. That's just a self-awareness that I don't know how to, you know what I mean? I'm not an expert in this. I'm not either, Sarah. So this is an area of my business that I'm not an expert, don't really want to become an expert in. It's not a good use of my time. I'm not going to become a CPA. So I'm going to outsource, or I'm going to get help, or I'm going to ask someone in my church. I'm going to somehow backfill for the gap between what I need to do and what I know. And I'm going to fill that gap with someone else's expertise. So let's say taxes, that's a bucket that we're going to set aside. And that's not like, oh, you need to grow in confidence there. No, you just need help. That's how we're going to solve that lack. You know what I mean? Because they all might be a little bit different. Okay, let's look at some of those other areas where, and I want to go back to something you said, because I think that is really relatable for people. And it's also something that I don't want you to live with. The statement you said is, I feel dumb. I feel stupid when I can't do that. And you will face things in business. Everyone will face things in business that you don't know how to do, and you feel incompetent. But what's so great is that doesn't have to keep you stuck. It doesn't have to keep you beating yourself up and go, I'm not cut out for this. I'm never going to be able to do this. Instead, to be able to find solutions. Now, in the tax example, that solution might be an outside person that goes, I don't know how to do that. It doesn't mean I'm stupid. It just means I'm not a tax expert. And so I'm going to find someone. But these other things that you feel like, I can do this. I can figure it out. It's a better use of my time and money to do this myself a email marketing system or some type of process that you're trying to put in place. Let's talk about how to get through that wall of feeling like this is a statement about me and it disqualifies me as a business owner because I don't automatically know how to do that. What would it look like for you to separate your identity and your feelings from a subject matter that is not a reflection of you, where it's not, I don't know this subject matter, therefore I am dumb or I feel dumb. Instead, it's like, I don't know this subject matter, so I need to come up with a solution. It's like, this subject matter is a problem. CRM, email marketing, whatever. That subject matter is unknown to me. It's an aspect of business we got to figure out. So I'm just going to come up with a solution for the subject matter, completely leaving yourself, your identity, your worth, your capabilities out of the equation. Instead, you're just a problem solver. And that's what you do. Mm-hmm. You solve problems for people through your business. You're going to solve problems for people through this email marketing or Salesforce or whatever the program you need. Well, what solutions could I come up with? What if you approached it from that angle where it became a problem you solve, not a statement about your identity?
Yeah. I mean, that would make a big difference because right now, kind of the way that I've been thinking about things, because it is just me in my business. Like I don't have a team or anybody working with me. Like I just have a small home-based business. Right. And I feel like, most of my customers know that.
Yeah.
Because that's all they see is me.
Sure.
And when they email with a problem, like they get me. And,
right. And that's why they love your business and love you is because of you. Like they come for you. Yeah.
But also like if something gets messed up, then it's me.
Right. You hear
I
about
messed
it.
it up. So it's just kind of like when I face problems, I think about how, I messed that up. Instead of like, okay, let's just solve the problem.
Yeah. When you get feedback, like you mess something up or you make a mistake, how do you typically handle that?
I try really hard not to mess up in the first place. So I spend a lot of energy on the front end. Like I write a lot. So spelling is very important. Well, I'll double and triple check something before I send it out, which is just kind of part of the job.
Sure.
So I don't get a lot of negative feedback. And I think part of it is like I just put so much energy into making sure something is as good as it can be.
Okay. So that's probably where your confidence comes from too, though, because you've double-checked, you've triple-checked, you've made sure you've covered your base. And that's not a bad thing. Like, I think that's a great thing. Perfectionism can be paralyzing, but if you're just doing kind of quality control, I think that's a great thing to avoid the possibility of mistakes. But I think if you look at that and go, hey, okay, the fact is I double and triple-check my work. The fact is I don't get much negative feedback. I don't make a ton of mistakes because of these things. Then when you look at those facts, it gives you such a basis for confidence in the things that you're doing well, the things that you're doing right. So I think that when you start to look at your business, I think you have a couple different buckets, and it's easy to look for, and I think we all do this in life, I think it's easy to look for a formula. Like, what is the one formula that I'm going to apply to my whole business in every aspect? And that just doesn't exist, right? Like, different things need to be handled differently. So I think what's so cool is you can look at the things in your business that you're doing really well and go, I have every right to be confident in that. Like, here's why my work is good. The quality is high. I have very few negative reviews. Here's how I take care of my customers. Then there's another bucket, and let's call taxes this bucket. This is the bucket that I need help with. And it's because I don't know how to do it and don't want to know how to do it. Don't need to spend my time and effort and energy to become an expert in something that has major weight associated with it. Like you said, you don't want to get it wrong. It's not something that's optional here. That's an area that it doesn't have to be a lack of confidence. That's just wisdom. Going, I'm not confident in that. I am self-aware. I'm going to get help. And that's how I'm going to solution that problem. And then we have this whole other bucket of tasks and responsibilities in your business that are things that you don't know how to do, but you can do. And you could approach that, like we're saying, of I'm going to separate myself and my identity from putting the pressure on my shoulders to expect that I'm going to know how to do every single thing and be able to do it well. Take that pressure and that perfectionism and that weight on your shoulders off and say, hey, this is a problem. We need a CRM program. We need something to manage our orders. That's a problem. I'm a business owner. I solve problems. So I'm going to come up with a solution for that problem. And the solution might be a company you pay, a person that helps you and teaches you. It might be you on Google, trial and error. And you're going, well, I don't know how to do this. Well, of course I don't, because I've never done this before. But I'm just going to solution it because I'm a business owner and that's what we do. And so it becomes this adventure to be lived, this problem to solve. You are not the problem. The need is the problem. And then it becomes, you actually become the hero. You become the solution because you're the business. You know what I mean? It's almost just reframing how we approach it. Because one of the things that I think is really wise about what you're saying, Sarah, is it's not this expectation of, I have to be confident in everything, but it's like, here's what I'm confident in. What do I do with stuff that I'm not? And I think that if you approach this from, okay, some things I'm going to get help with that are experts, and some things I'm just going to solution it as the business owner because that's what I do. I'm going to stay in my role, wear my right hat, stay in my lane of I'm a problem solver. Then what's so cool is you actually have a reason to have all the confidence in the world because you have confidence as a problem solver.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like, it's like, I may not be confident in that because I don't know how to do that. I don't do details. I don't do spreadsheets. I'm not confident, but I am confident in my ability to be a problem solver. And I'm going to come up with a solution for this. What do you think about that? What do you think about like reframing it that way?
It makes me feel so much better about it because I can think of things that I need to solve like right now.
Yeah.
One of which is like email.
Yeah.
Figuring out a system
Right.
for email. And so I can think about going, hey, I need to figure out how to send emails to people and what they need to say. And I don't know what to do about it because I've not done it before.
Right.
But I can solve the problem.
That's right. Because you're a calligrapher and a business owner, not an email marketer.
Right.
But you can be confident in your calligraphy. You can be confident in your business owner skills of being a business owner. And that doesn't mean that you know how to do everything perfectly, but you know how to solve the problems. I think that could be really cool. I want you to keep me updated. I want you to let me know, and you will, because we stay in touch all the time through the academy. But I think this is going to be really fun because it's freeing for you to say, I don't have to be an expert in everything. No one is. I'm not. You know that. Because even in my academy videos about taxes, I'm like, I'm going to bring in a friend here, like phone a friend because I don't know that stuff. Yeah. And so there's such a freedom in saying I'm going to stay in my lane and be good at what I'm good at, calligraphy, and I'm going to be a problem solver as running this business. And I got lots of problems in business, but my job is just to come up with a solution. Maybe the solution's me. Maybe it's someone else. Maybe it's a system or a company, but all I've got to do is come up with a solution. And it's not a statement about your worth because you have everything you need to do what you're doing. So I hope that helps. I think it's awesome that you are even aware of kind of the difference here. And I think this is going to be really fun. And by the way, the Academy is open for enrollment this week. Y'all, we only open enrollment twice a year. And so this is your chance to get a spot in my online training and coaching group. And you can find out more and join to get your spot by going to christywright.com/academy. Sarah, thank you for being here. Thank you for walking with me the last 2 years. Thank you for sharing your business, your dream, your time, and all your sweet gifts. Thanks for coming today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, y'all, I would love to share a scripture with you. And believe it or not, the Bible has a lot to say about confidence, but this verse in particular is one of my favorites. This is in Hebrews. And it's Hebrews 10:35 and 36. It says, so do not throw away your confidence. It will be richly rewarded. You need to persevere so that when you have done the will of God, you will receive what he has promised. It's like we've been talking about today. Confidence doesn't come from our circumstances. Confidence doesn't come from us having the highest education, the most resources, the most money, the most power, the most control. Like if we could just get successful enough, we would be confident. If we could just get good enough at our business or our career or our craft, we'd be so confident. We wouldn't be scared. We wouldn't have anything to worry about, and we wouldn't have any insecurities. People wouldn't be able to push us around. They'd never be able to hurt our feelings on social media. If we could just do this enough, we would be confident. But you and I both know that's not where true confidence comes from. True confidence comes from who we are in God, who we are and whose we are, most of all, in him. And it's amazing how when we are reminded that our confidence comes not from ourselves, but from him, not from our promises, but his promises, not our truth, but his truth, not our ability, but his ability, not our power. It's his power, not our resources, but it's his resources. When we remember that, we have every reason in the world to be confident. We have every reason in the world to be at peace, to have courage, to be bold, to feel secure, to be comfortable in our own skin. We have every reason in the world to be confident when we remember that. So I want to give you some questions to answer as you pray about this and journal about this. The first question is this: what areas of your life are you most confident? Now, don't be all humble right now. Don't say, oh, I'm not good at anything. I'm not good at anything. Humility, I'm just so humble. No. What areas of your life do you feel good and secure and confident? Confidence can come from God, but what areas of your life do you feel that sense of peace and confidence? Write down your answer. All All right, your second question is this. What habits help you build your confidence? Of course, some are just proven when you push yourself outside your comfort zone and do something new that builds confidence. But what have you done in your life that built confidence for you? What habits have you noticed, man, this really works for me, this really helps me, I feel really, really confident after I do this type of thing? What are those for you? Write down habits that help you build your confidence. All right, your third question is this. What scriptures help you feel confident? What are some of those scriptures or those Bible verses that you cling to, that you repeat to yourself, that you write on sticky notes, put them on your mirror or in your car? Those scriptures, they're like, again and again, that recenters me. Again and again, that resets me. Again and again, that helps me build my life on the true source of confidence. What are those verses for you? Write those down. And lastly, I want you to define it. Your last question is, what does confidence mean to you? Write down your answer. All right, I would love to pray for us as we wrap up today. God, thank you that you are our one true source of confidence. We don't have to get discouraged by our own inabilities or insecurities or lack of resources or time or money or talent. We don't have to get discouraged by any of that because our confidence doesn't come from that anyway. Our confidence comes from you, from who you are and who we are in you. God, thank you that that is true. Thank you that you remind us of that in your word through your promises and your truths in your word. God, I pray for every single person watching right now. I pray that they would feel a sense of confidence that truly surpasses any understanding. That is a sense of peace, a sense of boldness, a sense of security and certainty that could only come from you. That despite their circumstances, that they would feel confident. And it would be so bizarre and so other that they would know that that confidence came from you, that they would give you credit and praise your name when they have those feelings, knowing it doesn't come from themselves, but that it came from you as a gift from you. God, thank you that you love us. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you all so much for watching, and you can join us next week for another episode of The Christy Wright Show, where we are talking all about feelings. It's going to be fun. You don't want to miss it. And of course, as always, for more encouragement on building confidence in yourself and the God that created you, visit ChristyWright.com.
Mercy Me is coming to Pittsburgh. The Together Again tour with Mercy Me, Crowder, and special guest Andrew Rip. Thursday, October 5th. Bring your family and friends to the PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh for Mercy Me, Crowder, and Andrew Rip live in concert. 3 multiple award-winning artists on one stage for one night. Let your spirit soar, your heart sing, and your faith ignite. Mark your calendars for Thursday, October 5th. Get your tickets now at mercyme.org.